What is up, ladies and gentlemen, this is Pookie once again, and today I have some DayZ Standalone tips and tricks for ya to help you become better in DayZ Standalone and to understand the game. If you are a beginner, you will learn a lot of new things, but also the more experienced players should learn a few new handy things, so let's start with the video. One of the first problems you will encounter while surviving is bleeding, but how to stop bleeding? A very simple method is that you can tear your clothes into rags, but with the new 050 update it's also possible to stitch yourself with a sewing kit, which is very handy because you can basically bandage yourself an unlimited amount of times with the sewing kit. If you are lost in the world of genres, and that happens a lot when you're new to the game, there are a couple of methods to orient yourself, and one of them is to search for the nearest by signpost. Go to the website dayzmap.com and locate yourself. If you want to be a real survivor, you don't use those cheap tricks like using the internet. You basically can also look to the clouds and they blow to the east, just like in real life, also the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. After a while your character will get hungry and thirsty, just like you in real life. But how can you deal with this? To get less thirsty, you can locate wells also on the DayZ map site, which are very useful to drink from. You can also refill your canteen if you scroll with your mouse. But what if you aren't nearby a city or town and there isn't a well nearby? If you are running near the coastline, you will find a lot of these ponds close to the sea. You just get close to them, crouch a bit and drink the water. Currently you won't get sick of it, but they are probably gonna change that. If you don't find any ponds but it's raining, you are also in luck, because if it's raining you can refill your canteen with the rainwater. Of course you also need to eat, and instead of looting cities you can pick apples and get some berries by picking the red berry bushes, because the green ones will make you sick. Currently I wouldn't recommend doing this though, because the chance of you finding a berry or an apple is very low and the nutrition value of fruits is also too low. Foods and drinks are very important, because without you will simply die. If you are a true man, you probably don't want to loot cities to get food, but instead you can hunt on some wildlife. Don't forget to bring your machete, or else you won't be able to get any meat. Remember though to keep track of your status and don't eat or drink too much. Keep eating till you get the energized buff, and keep drinking till you get hydrated. If you eat and drink more than these recommended stats, you will get sick and you will end up like this little fella. If you want to have some weapons, you should locate an airfield, police station or fire station, as these buildings will spawn the best weapons and gear. Currently the best melee weapon is the fire axe without a doubt, and my favorite primary weapon is the Mosin, but that's just my opinion. You should always loot the trunk of a car, because also there will spawn loot. Many people don't know this, so you will be able to find some loot over there, even on the high populated servers. If you are in need of a backpack but can't seem to find one, you can craft yourself one by using rope, a burlap sack and some wooden sticks, which you can easily get by chopping down some bushes. The M4 is one of the best weapons in DayZ Standalone currently, and the only way to get this weapon is by locating a helicopter crash site. On these crash sites you will find the most advanced gear. To locate crash sites, have a look at this map. Another thing you can do though with your Mosin is give it another camo by using green or black spray paint. You can even combine both colors for extra swag. Many people don't know this, but with the T button you can actually switch between fire modes. With the Blaze and some other shotguns, this will allow you to shoot 2 bullets at a time. Items in DayZ Standalone get damaged according to their position in the inventory container. The last few slots in a full backpack are generally safe and a good place to store bandages and morphine. Items in pants are especially endangered, even dropping a small ledge will ruin these items as soon as you take any damage. If your clothes are damaged, you can repair them by finding a sewing kit. Remember though that they will never go back to pristine condition. The color of your screen represents how much blood you still have left. There are currently 3 methods of getting back blood in DayZ Standalone. The first is by getting a blood transfusion, which is pretty hard because both players must have the same blood type or else the other player will die. The second method is finding a saline bag, which is way better, but a real man don't need all this medical gear. A real man gets his blood back by consuming the right amount of food and drinks. Experiment a bit yourself. I would say eat a bit more than you drink, and after a while you will be probably getting the health buff. One of the worst moments in DayZ Standalone is when you fall on the ground and break your legs. The easiest way to get back on your feet is by chopping down a bush, tear your shirt apart and craft a splint, which can be used to cure all fractures. Also some morphine will do the work. Now you already have a fire axe in your hand, I'll show you how to craft a fire. To craft one you will need some rags, bandages or a book, because that's all the same, some wooden sticks, and combine those to craft a fireplace kit. Now the only thing you need to do is place one stone inside and chop down a tree to get some firewood. Slowly put the wood on the fire, light it with a matchbox and start cooking your meat. Remember, you can only craft a fire in a dry place. This is the ashwood tree. This tree will give you ashwood sticks instead of firewood. Ashwood sticks can be used as a weapon, or you can craft in combination with some rope a bow with it. Of course, you won't be anything with your bow without some arrows. To get some arrows you will first need to kill a chicken, or just go to one of the hen houses and find some feathers, chop down a bush, sharpen the sticks with your machete or knife and combine both to get some fine arrows. Since the 049 update, you can't perform a striptease anymore in DayZ Standalone without having to deal with some consequences. After a while, your character will get cold and will eventually die. I would recommend to get some extra warm clothes, run into sunlight and keep yourself dry. Also, being wet is a factor in feeling cold. You can easily deal with this by drying your clothes. Right click on your shirt and click the dry option. You can also sit close to a campfire. It's very important that you keep yourself warm or else you will die. But why be wet in the first place? Prevention is always the best option, and if you wear a raincoat you won't be affected by the rain. If you don't have a rain jacket, you can still stand under some trees because you also won't be getting wet over there. Also, hyperthermia, aka being too warm, was added in DayZ Standalone. Currently this is not an issue because all the servers have been updated to the cold and rainy September weather, but if you find yourself too warm, remove some clothes, take a dip into sea, lake or pond and expose yourself to rain and your problem will be solved. If you didn't know already, by double tapping any button you will basically automatically hold that button. Double tapping the Alt button and you will move the camera instead of your character the whole time. A very useful tip to sprint faster is by going to your control options and bound a button to the turbo key. This is very important because you will now be able to sprint faster. Another movement tip to jump higher is to lower your fist, because when you sprint with your fist up you will step over the obstacle, lower your fist and you will fall. If you have a can but you haven't got a can opener, you can basically open the can with every sharp thing, like for example an axe. You will lose a lot of its content though, so I would still recommend finding a can opener. When you shoot someone by accident, you can revive him by standing close to him, scroll with your mouse to find the revive option. Did you know that in one of the latest updates that also the backside of your weapon will hit your opponent, so you will even be able to knock out someone even when your aim isn't that good. It could always happen that when you shoot someone, his loot is ruined. When your ammo is ruined, you can sort out the fine ammo so you will be still able to shoot it. When your racks are ruined, you can use some alcohol on it to make them clean. You can throw items by pressing G in DayZ Standalone. It's kinda glitchy at the moment and the physics don't look that good at all, but you will have to do this with, for example, a grenade or else you will die yourself. The best way to find tents is at Castle, Deer Stands or the apartments of Dubkey. If you place a tent, it will stay on the server, so you can basically build a camp with some friends. There is a lot of storage place in your tent, but is easily visible from far away and is lootable by other players, so always remember to camp on a safe place. In the 050 update, they also added the option to lock doors with a lockpick. People will have to hit the locked door with a weapon in order to break free. This is the first step in the barricading system and I'm excited for more. You can also change your character's name by going to the main menu and double click on your current name. It's actually possible to play with the character model of some developers. I prefer the Dean Hall look. Another big tip I can give you is to use a headset while playing DayZ Standalone. Hearing footsteps is one of the most important aspects because else you are gonna get shot a lot. At the moment the sounds of DayZ are quite buggy, for example hear sounds from a fence and other random noises, but this will be fixed soon. When you are looting, I wouldn't always recommend to pick up the clothes with the most storage space. Instead look out for how camouflaged it is, especially if you are playing as a sniper. I wouldn't want that someone could see me laying in the bushes. The next tip is a bit different and I definitely don't recommend suicide, but when you do have a bad spawn, you don't have to jump off a high building. The rails of a bridge will be high enough to kill yourself. If you want to have my opinion about suicide in DayZ Standalone, please check out my commentary I made a couple of weeks ago. We all know the problems with the current DayZ server browser, and that's that the history tab doesn't always work, but I found a very easy method to track on which servers you have been on. Just use the program DayZ Server Saver and it will keep track of all the servers you have been to. And the last step is to subscribe to my channel on YouTube. You will stay up to date with DayZ Standalone thanks to my news and guides videos. I also love to play other survival games, so if you are interested, just hit the subscribe button to support me. This is Pookie, I hope you enjoyed the video, I hope you learned something new, and I see you guys later.